Guys, thanks for tuning in to Godless Morals. It's your girl, Rissa Nicole, proving you can have a meaningful and fulfilled life without the threat of eternal doom. And I wanted to go ahead and get up another video before I fell off track. And that's, oddly enough, today's topic is staying on track. So, at any given point in time, I tend to have a lot of ideas in my head. And those ideas range from anything to, I'm going to be the next Bollywood pop princess, to stuff like, I'm going to write a book, and no, I'm going to write several books and they're going to be awesome, to let's start my own radio show. Let me tell you, if I've had an idea, I've tried it. Now, I'm a little bit upset because I had just made a video and I spent quite a lot of time recording it only to have it just poof disappear. So I'm actually using my Chromebook to record the video instead of my laptop, because the sound on this is a lot better than it is on my laptop. Unfortunately, with the Chromebook, I can't use Windows Movie Maker, which would save it directly to the computer. So I had to use an app, blah, blah, blah. And so here we are, me recording the same topic again. Okay. Anyway, that did give me a chance to think about what I had named it. So originally I had named it Staying on Track While Working from Home. Now, excuse me if you see me looking over to the side. It's because this time I actually made a few notes and I want to make sure that I kind of stay on topic and don't run off on a tangent rambling about something else, because I do have a really bad habit of doing that. So that was originally what I named it. And I was like, you know what, that's not really a good name fitting of the content that I have going on. So I think I'm going to just call it something basic like getting organized or staying organized, or something about some organization. Okay, how to keep your stuff together when you at home and get it done. How about that? That's too long. That's okay. We'll fix it on the title page. It'll be much better there. So anyway, now that I'm trying to get rid of that little annoyance because of the whole video fiasco, so we're going to talk about what it takes to just help you have a little bit of organization when you are working from home. So I have several different projects that I have going on. I've worked in the corporate world for a long time, and right now I'm just taking a little bit of breather from the corporate world because it's gnarly out there. It really is. And a lot of times what you see for videos are stay-at-home moms, but you don't so much see for stay-at-home wives, or just stay-at-home single people, or just people who work from home, So that's basically what this is if you're working on projects from home, and even if you work a full-time job like I did, and then you would come home and you would try to work on a different project, this still might be helpful for you, because these are some of the same things that I did when I was working in corporate America. So one of the first things you want to make sure you do is, the biggest misconception about working at home is that you think you can be in your pajamas all day. Let me bust that myth right now. Wrong. You will get up and you will get dressed every day. Now, right now I'm wearing something basic because I actually have a class later on, and I did a small beat to my face because I knew that I was going to be recording a video. Usually I don't wear a lot of makeup. I'll probably do my eyebrows and throw in some lip balm and call it a day. But because I was doing a video, I just wanted to put on just a little something so I wouldn't look so pale on the video. But you need to get up and you need to get dressed every day. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I see a lot of people running around in leisure athletic wear. That's so weird. It's like, if you're not going to the gym, why are you running around in yoga pants all day? I don't understand. The men like it, of course, but I personally. I don't get it. Put on some real clothes. But I mean, I do get it because it's comfortable. But I mean, every day. Anywho, just get up and get dressed. And whatever it is you're putting on, just make sure it's not the same thing that you would go to sleep in. I am guilty of taking a nap. I love a good nap. But if you get up and you stay in your pajamas all day, then it's going to make you less likely to want to get to work. And if you've ever had a job where you got up and you went to work and you put on your heels, for me, it was something about slipping into my pumps where I knew, like, okay, I'm going to work now. I'm not going to wear pumps around the house. I'm one of those barefoot kind of people. But just getting up and putting on something that I know that I wouldn't go to sleep in. You never know who's going to pop up at your door or if you might have to run out the house real quick. So knowing that you're already dressed and you're ready to go will help set the right tone to your day. Now, before that, the night before, what you want to do is you want to make a list of everything that you want to accomplish the next day. And this just isn't a list of tasks or goals. You're going to prioritize that. And you're going to do this the night before, because that way, while you're sleeping, your brain will process that and think of the best way to accomplish those tasks so that you can get those done. If you wake up in the morning and you do not have a list and you do not have a plan and you just say you're going to wing it and you're going to take whatever project it is, and you're just going to go ahead and say, I'll work on this one, I guarantee you that something else will come up and somebody else will prioritize your day for you. It doesn't matter if it's your annoying next door neighbor, if you get a phone call from a friend who needs you to go pick up a sick child, if your one of your parents gives you a ring and they're in crisis, you end up talking to them. It doesn't matter. If you don't have a plan, I promise you, someone else is going to have a plan, and it will not be the same plan that you thought you had in your head because your goals aren't the same. And so that's why you need to have that list, and you need to make it the night before. A lot of people advocate making it the morning of, but by the morning of, if you're making it, you're already running behind because by then if you don't, you've had time for your brain to think and like, oh, maybe I could do this or maybe I could do that. No, already have it down. Already know what you want to do. And that way, when you wake up, you're not negotiating with yourself as to what it is you should do. Another thing that you want to do is you want to have notebooks in every room. This is because you never know when you're going to get a great idea. When you're constantly creating content or you have new ideas or you're working on projects, you might be stuck at a point in a project and you could have an idea while you're sitting there doing something mundane like wiping off the kitchen counter. Well, you want to write that down. You don't want to forget about it because if you wait till later to write that down, you're going to forget. Your brain doesn't hold on to ideas like that, but your brain is constantly full of life and giving you ideas on fixing problems. So you need to capture that right then. A lot of people like to use the digital method where they will use their phones or they'll do a voice record, and that's cool. I'm just an old-fashioned kind of girl, and I really believe in the power of pen and paper. I'm also a little nerdy, so I like to, after I write something down, if I'm looking back over it, I'll trace my hands over the words. Depending on how hard you write, you can sometimes feel the bumps in the paper from where you've written something. And it just kind of makes it more concrete and makes it more, like, okay, I can actually do this. I thought of this. I wrote it down. This could actually happen. So it's a good way to stay motivated. Now, the next thing you want to make sure, well, and this isn't necessarily in any particular order. These are just some tips, but you also want to make sure that you establish working hours. Simply because you're at home, this doesn't mean that you have complete chaos. You get up within, the same 30 to 45 minutes time frame. You get up, you have your working hours, same as you would do as if you was out in corporate. So you want to have at least 4 hours where you dedicate yourself to your work. If you have a a actual job where you work at home, you might not have that flexibility because you're still basically corporate. You're just happen to be doing that from home. If you have a different sort of, if you work on commission or something like that where your time is a little more flexible, you still want to give yourself at least a 4 hour chunk of time, and that way you're focusing specifically on that. At the top of each hour, you want to make sure you get up and give yourself a little stretch, a little break, walk around, get yourself some water, stay hydrated. So that way you can come back and be focused. I think that's also called the Pomodoro method, where you set a timer for 50 minutes and then you take a 10-minute break. And so that just helps your mind stay focused. If you try to power through each and every day, there's going to be days where you're less effective than if you do it with small breaks. Some people are better in the morning, some in the afternoons. You need to decide when you work best. Some people work best at night. Sometimes I'll get a great idea at 10 o'clock at night and I'll be up between 10 and 2. But that's bad, because the world, there's this commercial, the world runs on Dunkin'. Well, the world runs on morning people. That's how I feel about morning people. But what are you going to do? You got to adapt. So give yourself working hours, and whatever those working hours are, we respect those hours. If you're going to take off, then you need to plan that in advance and just set the expectation that you're not going to be working, but find the time later to make that time up. You're also going to need to have dedicated days for running errands. I'm a homebody. I like to stay at home. There's no reason for me to leave my home. I have everything that I need here. I have a delicious coffee house. They serve great coffee here. I have a cafe, and the food is really good here. I have an internet cafe. I can get on the internet whenever I want. I have a laundromat. I have an entertainment theater. I have a bed and breakfast. I mean, I have everything I want here in my house. What do I need to leave my house for? There will be sometimes it'll be 3 days before I leave my house. And, it's okay. I'm a hermit. That's fine. But you also want to make sure that you're not running an errand every day. Some people I know like to actually, when they're working at home, they like to actually get up and they'll get dressed. They'll get in their car, they'll start their car, and then they'll drive around the block, and then they'll come home. And that's their way of tricking their brain into thinking, okay, it's time for me to go to work. But as far as actually running an errand, there's no need for you to be going out every day. Consolidate those, and so that you have your time. That's another way of respecting that time, that your working hours that you've already set for yourself, because in the corporate world that you're not going to be able to just pick up and leave whenever you're like, oh, well, I need some creamer, I'm going to go leave. No, it usually doesn't work like that in the corporate world. So try to respect those working hours. And that's why I say have dedicated days for running errands. And on those days, your working hours might be a little bit different, but you've pre-negotiated that into your schedule. So you're still respecting your time to create and to get things done. Now, something that may seem a little silly is to give yourself a star at the end of the day. Remember in kindergarten when you used to do something and you used to do it well, that you would receive a star next to your name? And that's the same concept here. They have apps for that now where you can, I think one of them is like Habit Streak or something, and there's many others. But for me, it's not the same as actually seeing a star on a calendar. So I used to, and I fell out of this habit, and as I'm sitting here telling you about this, I need to do this my own self. But it's, you just put a little star on the calendar and you work on one habit a month. So right now, I really want to make sure that I'm getting my videos, my vlogs up and out a couple of days a week. And so what I'm going to start doing is, and you know what, I actually am. I'm going to show you on my calendar. I'm going to start doing that. And every time I do, I'll put a star by my name. And that way it's a visual reminder that, hey, you actually did this when you said you were going to do it. And that's a way of, stop lying to yourself. Go ahead and respect yourself enough that you do things when you say you're going to do them. And that's a little reward at the end of the day that isn't going to add extra pounds on your hips like ice cream would, and it doesn't always have to be a monetary or food type reward, just something small so that the brain stays motivated. Finally, which the last thing you want to do when you're working from home is you want to make sure that you maintain some type of hobby. I mentioned earlier that I wasn't really dressed up today. I actually did have on the dreadful leisure athletic wear, leisure athletic. What did I call it earlier? I don't remember. Anyway, I actually did mention that I had that on, but that's only because later today I'm actually going to a dance class. I take 3 dance classes a week. And so today is one of the days that I go, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'm going to record this, and hopefully this video doesn't disappear on me like the last one did. But, you need to have a hobby that's something just for you. As women, we take care of everyone else, but it's important that we take that time for ourselves. And even if it's something that you only do twice a month, you need to make sure that you set that time aside, no less than 60 minutes. Anything less than 60 minutes, it's not, just don't do it. 60 minutes, or more. And set that time aside for yourself twice a month on dedicated days or dedicated times. It might be the first and second Thursday of the month or whatever, but whatever it is, respect that time and go maintain your hobby. It doesn't matter if you can't find a group, then, on the first and third Thursday of every month, you lock yourself in your room and you paint, or you go hiking, or you do yoga in the park, or go run. Lord knows why you want to run, but hey, that's some people's thing. But whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you just takes you to your happy place, that's what you need to do. And you need to do it so that way you recharge and you're there to be able to A, take care of everyone else, and B, you can also keep creating and working on your projects. You can't create when you're all ran down, and you need your hobbies to recharge your batteries. And you can't be your best self when you're only living the hard and difficult parts of your life. So, you may say, well, I don't have the money for my hobby, but I guarantee you there's a way for you to do it for either cheaper, or if you can't actually physically go out and do it, you can read about it, you can watch videos about it. There's some way for you to still immerse yourself in that hobby of yours and recharge your batteries until you're able to, go ahead and commit to it fully. But just take that time out for yourself. If nothing else, it doesn't matter, like I said, whether you're working corporate or whether you're working inside the home, you have to have a hobby. That's all I have for you today. Thanks so much. Sorry about the little ranting in the beginning. I was not a happy camper. So I hope I got everything in this video that I initially put in there the first time around. And I will see you guys later. In the meantime, be good to yourselves and one another.